Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and if you know me, you know that I thought Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was one of the best games of 2024, and now we are just a couple of weeks away, literally, how many days? 16 days away from the PC release as of the recording of this video. The full PC system requirements are out. I saw this making a little bit of headway recently. They've been out for a little bit, but I thought I would go over them again, and with the revealing of the RTX 5080, 5090, 5070, 5070 Ti, and all of the new GPUs, I think it's a good time to go over this, because I think if you look at these requirements, the fact is that the Ultra preset already illustrates that one of those GPUs might be a little bit of a limiting factor, and we'll talk all about that, and we'll go over all of that. Now, the PC version of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming at it with a launch discount. It is 30% off if you pre-order the game for $49. However, we gotta give a good plug to our friends at Green Man Gaming, where if you're an XP member, you just get that by buying games on GMG. A lot of you guys already have that. 43% off for $40.17. Not only that, you will not pay tax for the game, you will get a Steam key, so it will be considerably cheaper than you buying the game on Steam. On top of that, if you are one of the people that have not played Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I highly recommend you do play before Rebirth, this is a narrative-driven game, they do have the Twin Pack. That is both Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for $57.39. Essentially, you'd be paying around $17 on top of FF7 Rebirth, and $17 for Remake is really damn good. When that goes on sale on Steam, it's still at, like, I believe $29, or maybe even a little bit more than that. It's still a hefty price point. When it initially dropped, it was $49. Like, with the launch discount, it was $49. And remember, FF7 Remake came out on a 2-year delay on PC. Thankfully, you don't have to wait that long for Rebirth, and a significant discount. Link to those offers in the description box below. Now, with that being said, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will feature 3 presets. We have a minimum tier, a recommended tier, and an ultra tier. The graphics quality settings are low, medium, and high. Minimum is 30 FPS 1080p with the graphics quality at low. Recommended is 60 frames per second 1080p with the graphics quality at medium, and then ultra is 60 frames per second 4K graphics quality set to high. We don't have an official Steam Deck verification yet, but they have noted they are working on getting the game optimized for the deck. The fact that they're even saying that leads me to believe that this game will be playable on the deck, which is insane to think about. We'll see if that comes to fruition. I know a lot. I literally had a comment on one of my videos when I mentioned deck being viable for this game. Somebody commented that the deck was going to explode if it tried to run this game. But yeah, they are noting that they are getting the game optimized for the deck. So we'll see how that turns out. Minimum 30 FPS 1080p at low. You're looking at a Ryzen 5 1400 and Intel Core i3 8100. The GPU, you're looking at an AMD Radeon RX 6600, an Intel Arc A580, or an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060. You're looking at 16 gigabytes of RAM on the minimum side of things. Now, recommended, this is 60 frames per second at 1080p, graphics quality set to medium. AMD Ryzen 5 5600 or a Ryzen 7 3700X, an i7 8700 or an i5 10400, an RX 6700 XT or an RTX 2070, 16 gigabytes of RAM. And then Ultra, you're looking at 60 FPS 4K graphics quality set to high, a Ryzen 7 5700X, an Intel Core i7 10700, and Radeon RX 7900 XTX, or an RTX 4080 and 16 gigabytes of RAM as well. Now, to circle back to minimum, GPU memory notes. They do note, and this is for minimum, GPU memory of 12 gigabytes or greater recommended if a 4K monitor is used. And I would imagine that's if you're playing at a 4K resolution, even while playing at low settings. Graphics card supporting shader model 6.6, or a later version OS supporting DirectX 12. Recommended GPU memory 12 gigabytes or greater recommended if a 4K monitor is used. And then Ultra, GPU memory of 16 gigabytes or greater recommended if a 4K monitor is used. Now, they don't directly clarify whether or not these settings have DLSS enabled. I am led to believe it does not have DLSS enabled and AI technology, because they have a different section where they do note NVIDIA DLSS support means that frame rates can be enhanced and image quality upscaled. And that section comes after the system quality and the system specifications, so that makes me think. And it'd be kind of insane if a 4080 was needing upscaling as well, but we'll see. Square Enix and great PC versions haven't been ideal, but I did want to mention the GPU memory of 16 gigabytes or greater because a lot of people are looking at the RTX 5070, and they are very much captivated by the statement made that the RTX 5070 has RTX 4090 performance. Well, you have to remember that the 5070, the base model, has 12 gigabytes of VRAM. There are already games that are utilizing more than 12 gigabytes. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be one of them. Indiana Jones is another one. I'm sure there are games coming out in 2025 that are going to be implementing that as well. So if you want a premier GPU, I would say, like, on a top level build, you're looking at a 5070 Ti or a 5080. That's just, like, I'm bringing you guys the information as far as this is concerned, but a lot of you guys are playing at 1440p, and on top of that, this is for 4K resolution, and again, if my interpretation of it is correct, that this isn't utilizing DLSS or FSR, well, you could get more mileage out of your GPU by utilizing DLSS, so that is going to improve performance, hopefully by quite a lot. Final Fantasy VII Remake was a pretty mid-PC version, and even with Rebirth, you've got 3 tiers of system settings: low, medium, high. FF7 Remake actually only had 2, which is wild to think about it. It had a low and high preset. Like, that's insane. We should have more options these days. At least the bare minimum is 3. Really, it should be 4 or 5. But 3, I guess you could say, is serviceable. FF16 had its fair share of issues, but let's just hope FF7 Rebirth is a little bit more ironed out. I should also note 155 gigabytes of an SSD storage space is required as well. This is going to be a difficult game to run. Remember that this game on the base PlayStation 5 had a lot of issues. The performance mode, while it did run at 60 frames per second, looked like an atrocity on the base PS5. On the PS5 Pro, PSSR does make the game look really clean and run at 60 frames per second, but we'll see how it runs on the PC. And with the high graphics quality preset, the game's gonna look better than the PlayStation 5 version. Textures have been improved, lighting has been improved, and all of that good stuff. And as far as Steam Deck support, their exact verbiage is, we are also working diligently on optimizations to make sure that the Steam version is playable on Steam Deck as well. The fact that they were saying this a month before release leads me to believe that, okay, they're fairly confident they're gonna get it working without major issues on the deck, and that's very impressive. Whenever a PlayStation 5 only title, not a cross-gen game, can run on the deck, I always find that to be relatively remarkable, especially as good of a looking game as FF7 Rebirth is. That's gonna do it for me. Again, if you do want the game cheaper, Green Man Gaming is the spot to go. You'll get it considerably cheaper if you're an XP member, $40.17 for the base game. They do have the Digital Deluxe Edition, which is kind of memes, but the Twin Pack, which includes Remake as well, if you've yet to check that out, 43% off for $57.39 as well. That's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.